What if I told you that the single biggest threat to your potato patch, the relentless Colorado potato beetle, could be completely eliminated with something you might already have in your kitchen or garden shed? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? For years, gardeners have been locked in a losing battle, spraying chemicals and picking off those striped marauders one by one. But today, that battle ends. In this video, I'm going to show you the one simple, organic, and incredibly effective secret you need to know. You're going to learn exactly what to bury with your potatoes, to not only make the beetles vanish for good, but to also supercharge your soil and produce a harvest so abundant, your neighbours will be asking for your secret. So grab a notepad because you won't want to miss a single detail of this game-changing technique. Before we reveal the solution, let's talk about the enemy. The Colorado potato beetle is the stuff of nightmares for any potato grower. These tiny striped insects are deceptively destructive. A single beetle can lay hundreds of eggs, and their larvae can strip a healthy potato plant of its leaves in a matter of days. Without leaves, the plant can't photosynthesize, it can't produce energy, and your dreams of a bountiful harvest wither away into nothing. For decades, the conventional answer has been a chemical arms race. Gardeners spray increasingly harsh pesticides, which can harm beneficial insects like bees, seep into the soil, and potentially end up on the very potatoes you plan to eat. It's a frustrating, expensive, and unsustainable cycle. Many gardeners feel helpless, thinking this is the only way. But this is where we need to change our perspective. The problem isn't that the beetles are too strong, it's that we've been fighting them with the wrong tools. Nature itself has provided a far more elegant and powerful solution. So, let's pull back the curtain on this incredible method. The secret isn't a single magical item, but a powerful, synergistic trio of natural ingredients that I call the Three Guardians. When you combine them and bury them with your potatoes, you create a multi-layered defense system that attacks the Colorado potato beetle on every front. This isn't just a simple repellent, it's a complete environmental shift in your potato patch that makes it utterly inhospitable for these pests. You're not just putting up a keep out sign, you're fundamentally changing the soil and the air around your plants in a way that beetles simply cannot tolerate. The beauty of this method lies in its simplicity and accessibility. These are not rare or expensive ingredients. They are common, natural items that work in perfect harmony to protect your plants and nourish your soil at the same time. This is the core principle we're going to explore. Working with nature, not against it, to achieve results that even the strongest chemicals can't promise. It's time to stop treating the symptoms and start building a resilient garden from the ground up. Let's start with the first guardian in our powerful trio, mustard seed. This might surprise you, but simple, inexpensive mustard seed is one of the most potent organic pest deterrents you can find. It's not about the spicy flavour we enjoy. It's about a fascinating process called biofumigation. When mustard seeds get wet in the soil, they begin to break down and release specific chemical compounds, namely isothiocyanates. This is the same group of compounds that gives mustard and horseradish their signature sharp, pungent kick. To pests like the Colorado potato beetle and its soft-bodied larvae, these naturally occurring gases are highly toxic and repellent. It creates a fumigating effect right in the root zone of your potato plants, disrupting the beetle's ability to smell, navigate and lay eggs. They simply can't stand to be around it. Think of it as creating an invisible pungent shield around each and every one of your developing potatoes, making the area a no-go zone for any beetle foolish enough to venture near. This is the first layer of our defense, and it's a powerful one. Now let's dive deeper into how this biofumigation from the mustard seed really works its magic throughout the beetle's life cycle. The Colorado potato beetle overwinters in the soil as an adult. When they emerge in the spring, their primary mission is to find your newly sprouted potato plants and start laying eggs on the underside of the leaves. The gases released by the decomposing mustard seeds create a confusing and hostile environment right from the start. This can deter the adult beetles from even choosing your potato patch as a home. But it gets even better. For any eggs that do get laid and hatch, the larvae are the most destructive stage. As they drop to the ground to pupate in the soil, they encounter this biofumigant-rich environment which can be lethal to them. You are effectively breaking the life cycle of the pest. You're not just repelling the adults you see, you're preventing the next generation from ever emerging. This proactive approach is what makes the mustard seed method so much more effective than reactive spraying, where you're always one step behind the infestation. You are setting up your garden for success before the first beetle even arrives. So how do you prepare and use the mustard seed for maximum effect? It's incredibly simple. You don't need to do anything fancy. You can buy a bag of whole yellow or brown mustard seeds from most grocery stores, spice shops, or online. A little goes a long way. The key is to use them whole. You don't need to grind them up. Grinding them would cause them to release their potent compounds too quickly. We want a slow, sustained release throughout the early growing season as the seeds naturally break down in the moist soil. For application, the rule of thumb is to use approximately 1 tablespoon of whole mustard seeds per seed potato. When you dig your trench or hole to plant your potato, you'll first sprinkle this tablespoon of seeds into the bottom of the hole. This ensures that the protective biofumigant effect is concentrated right where the new plant's roots will be developing. It's a targeted application that puts the power of the mustard exactly where it's needed most, creating a protective zone from the very beginning of the plant's life. This simple step is the foundation of our entire pest control strategy for the season. Now for our second guardian, an ingredient that is as beautiful as it is effective, the marigold. Specifically, we're talking about dried marigold petals. For centuries, gardeners have known that planting marigolds around their vegetable beds helps keep pests away. This isn't just an old wives' tale. It's backed by science. Marigolds, particularly French marigolds, release a chemical called pyrethrin from their roots and a strong, pungent scent from their flowers. Pyrethrin is a natural insecticide that disrupts the nervous systems of many harmful insects, including beetles. However, the most immediate effect comes from their powerful scent. The Colorado potato beetle, like many pests, finds its host plant through a keen sense of smell. The strong, distinct aroma of marigolds acts as a powerful scent mask. It confuses the beetles and makes it incredibly difficult for them to locate your delicious potato plants among the fragrant cloud of marigolds. By incorporating dried marigold petals directly into the soil at planting time, you are supercharging this effect, creating an aromatic barrier right at ground level that sends pests searching for an easier meal elsewhere in your neighbourhood. Let's unpack the dual action power of the marigold a little more. The first line of defense, as we mentioned, is the scent masking. Imagine the potato plant emits a specific smell signal that acts like a dinner bell for the Colorado potato beetle. The pungent aroma from the marigold petals essentially scrambles that signal. It's like trying to have a quiet conversation in the middle of a loud rock concert. The beetles become disoriented and confused, unable to lock onto their target. But the second and perhaps more important long-term benefit lies in what the marigold roots do for the soil. Marigolds release a substance that is toxic to root knot nematodes, which are microscopic worms that can damage potato roots and create entry points for diseases. While nematodes aren't the primary target here, a healthier root system means a stronger, more vigorous plant. A stronger plant is better equipped to withstand any potential pest or disease pressure. So, by adding dried marigold petals, you're not just confusing the beetles, you're also contributing to the overall health and resilience of your potato crop from the roots up. It's a holistic approach to plant protection. Preparing the marigold petals is a wonderful way to recycle your garden's bounty from the previous year. If you grew marigolds last season, you can simply collect the flower heads as they start to fade. Let them dry completely in a cool, airy place until they are brittle and papery. Then simply crumble the petals into a jar for storage. If you don't have your own, you can easily buy dried marigold petals online. They are often sold for making tea or potpourri. Make sure you get pure marigold petals, not a mix with other herbs. For our application, we want to create a fragrant and protective layer. Similar to the mustard seed, you'll use about 1 tablespoon of dried, crushed petals per seed potato. When you are planting, you will sprinkle these petals directly into the trench or hole along with the mustard seeds. The moisture in the soil will slowly rehydrate them, allowing them to release their pungent, protective aroma over an extended period. This slow release is crucial for providing continuous protection during the most vulnerable early stages of your potato plant's growth, creating that essential aromatic shield we talked about. Our third and final guardian is the most unexpected of the trio, but it plays a crucial physical role in our defense strategy: crushed eggshells. This is something most people throw away every single day, but for a gardener, it's pure gold. You've likely heard of using eggshells in the garden to add calcium, which is true and beneficial for preventing issues like blossom end rot in other plants. However, for our purposes, we're interested in their physical properties. When you crush eggshells, you create tiny, sharp, jagged edges. To soft-bodied pests like slugs and the delicate larvae of some insects, crawling over a barrier of these sharp shards is uncomfortable and often damaging. While the hard-shelled adult Colorado potato beetle might not be bothered, their vulnerable larvae, which often drop to the soil to pupate, will be. You are essentially creating a hostile, abrasive terrain around the base of your plants. It's a physical deterrent that complements the chemical and aromatic defenses of our other two guardians. It's a simple, free, and surprisingly effective way to make your garden a much less welcoming place for pests to complete their life cycle. The crushed eggshells provide a fantastic dual benefit that supports the overall health of your potato patch. Firstly, there is the physical barrier. This isn't just about the Colorado beetle larvae. Slugs and snails, which can also damage young potato shoots and tubers, despise crawling over sharp, dry surfaces. A ring of crushed eggshells around your plant's base can effectively stop them in their tracks. It's like creating a microscopic field of broken glass that they simply will not cross. But secondly, let's not discount the nutritional benefit. As the eggshells slowly break down over the season, they release valuable calcium into the soil. Calcium is a vital micronutrient for plants, strengthening their cell walls. Stronger cell walls lead to a sturdier, more resilient plant that is physically tougher for any chewing insect to damage. So while the immediate effect is a physical deterrent, the long-term effect is a stronger, healthier plant from the inside out. You're building a better plant and a better soil structure, all with a resource you would have otherwise thrown in the trash. It's the ultimate form of recycling for a healthier garden. Properly preparing the eggshells is key to unlocking their full potential as a physical deterrent. First, you'll want to collect your eggshells and give them a quick rinse to remove any remaining egg white. This prevents them from smelling as they decompose. Then, let them air dry completely for a day or two. You can speed this up by baking them in an oven on low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes, which also has the added benefit of sterilizing them. Once they are dry and brittle, it's time to crush them. You don't want a fine powder. A powder loses all of its sharp, deterrent qualities. You also don't want large, half-shell pieces. The goal is to create a coarse, gritty texture, similar to coarse sand or gravel. You can achieve this by putting the dry shells in a sturdy bag and rolling over them with a rolling pin, or by pulsing them a few times in a coffee grinder or blender. The perfect grind has sharp, varied edges. For application, you'll use about 2 tablespoons of this coarse eggshell meal per seed potato, adding it to the planting hole with the mustard seed and marigold petals. This completes our 3 guardians mixture. Now that we have our 3 guardians prepared, the mustard seed, the dried marigold petals, and the crushed eggshells, it's time to talk about the sacred ratio. Mixing them correctly ensures that you get the right balance of each of their unique properties. The recipe is simple and easy to remember. For every 1 part mustard seed, you will use 1 part dried marigold petals and 2 parts crushed eggshells. So a simple mix could be 1 cup of mustard seeds, 1 cup of marigold petals, and 2 cups of crushed eggshells. You can mix up a larger batch in a bucket or container so you have it ready to go when you're out in the garden planting. Stir them together thoroughly to ensure an even distribution of all three ingredients. This pre-mixed potato dust is your secret weapon. Each scoop will contain the biofumigant power of mustard, the scent-masking fragrance of marigolds, and the physical barrier of eggshells. This combination is what makes the method so incredibly robust. You're not relying on a single point of failure. If a particularly stubborn beetle isn't deterred by the smell, it still has to contend with the fumigant and the abrasive ground, making survival and reproduction extremely unlikely. With your 3 Guardians mix ready, let's move on to the most critical part, the application technique. How you bury this mixture is just as important as what's in it. We'll start with preparing the planting area. Whether you plant in rows or individual holes, the principle is the same. Dig your trench or hole to the desired depth for your seed potatoes, which is typically about 4 to 6 inches deep. Before you place your seed potato, you're going to apply our protective mixture. Take a generous handful of the mix, which will be roughly 4 tablespoons, based on our 1:1:2 ratio, and sprinkle it evenly across the bottom of the hole or along the bottom of the trench where the potato will sit. This initial layer acts as the foundation of your defense. It ensures that as the seed potato sprouts and sends down its first roots, it is immediately growing into a protected, pest-unfriendly zone. This is a proactive measure that establishes protection from day one, rather than waiting for a problem to appear and then trying to solve it. You are creating a fortress for your future plant, starting from below the ground. After you've laid down that initial layer of the 3 Guardians mix, it's time to place your seed potato. Position it firmly in the hole with the eyes or sprouts facing up. Now, for the second and equally important step of the application, the protective halo. Take another handful of your mixture, about the same amount as before, and sprinkle it directly on and around the seed potato. You want to create a little halo or circle of the mixture surrounding the potato. This encapsulates the seed potato in a 360-degree sphere of protection. As you then cover the potato with soil, this mixture will be distributed in the soil, immediately surrounding the tuber and the base of the future plant stem. This is the zone where adult beetles emerge from hibernation and where larvae drop to pupae. By fortifying this specific area, you are maximising the impact of all 3 ingredients. The mustard fumigates the root zone, the marigolds mask the scent of the emerging shoots, and the eggshells create a hazardous terrain at the soil surface. This 2-step application, below and around, is the key to making the method work so effectively all season long. So, why is this combination so much more powerful than just using one of the ingredients alone? The answer is synergy. Synergy is the concept that the combined effect of multiple elements is far greater than the sum of their individual effects. Think of it like a team. One great player is good, but a team of 3 great players who work together perfectly is unstoppable. That's what we're creating in the soil. The mustard seed acts as the heavy hitter, providing a powerful chemical defense that disrupts the beetle's life cycle. The marigold petals are the strategist, running interference and creating confusion with their scent-masking abilities. And the crushed eggshells are the tough physical defenders, creating a barrier that's difficult to cross. Each guardian covers a weakness of the others. The mustard might not deter every single adult beetle by itself, but the marigold scent will confuse those that get close. The eggshells might not stop an adult beetle, but they make the ground a nightmare for the vulnerable larvae. Together, they form a comprehensive, multifaceted defense system that pests simply can't overcome. This is the genius of biomimicry, copying nature's layered systems to create a resilient garden. This method also serves to debunk a common myth you might hear in some gardening circles, that companion planting is just folklore and doesn't have a real, measurable effect. While simply planting a marigold a few feet away from a potato plant might have a minimal impact, our method is a form of intensive, targeted companion planting. We aren't just hoping a nearby plant will help. we are concentrating the most potent parts of these companion plants, the seeds and dried petals, and placing them directly in the zone of action. We are amplifying their natural properties by a factor of 10. This is the difference between having a single guard standing at the gate and having an entire security system integrated into the very foundation of the building. The results you will see from this method, the near total absence of Colorado potato beetles, will be undeniable proof that when applied correctly and with intention, the principles of companion planting are not just real, but incredibly powerful. You are taking a well-known concept and turning it into a precise scientific application for guaranteed results in your own backyard. One of the most exciting aspects of the Three Guardians method is that its benefits extend far beyond a single season. You're not just fighting this year's pests, you're actively investing in the long-term health of your garden soil. As the mustard seeds, marigold petals, and eggshells decompose, they release valuable organic matter and nutrients. The mustard acts as a mini-green manure crop, adding nitrogen. The marigolds contribute organic material that improves soil texture and water retention. And the eggshells, as we discussed, provide a slow-release source of calcium. Year after year, as you use this method, you are gradually building a richer, more vibrant soil ecosystem. Healthier soil grows stronger plants, and stronger plants are naturally more resistant to all kinds of pests and diseases. You are breaking the cycle of dependency on chemical fertilizers and pesticides and creating a self-sustaining, resilient garden. This is the true goal of organic gardening, to create a balanced ecosystem. When nature does most of the work for you, it's an investment that pays dividends in bigger harvests and healthier food for years to come. Ultimately, what does all of this mean for your potato harvest? The impact is profound. Firstly, and most obviously, your plants will be protected from the devastating leaf damage caused by beetle larvae. With their foliage intact, your potato plants can engage in maximum photosynthesis, converting sunlight into energy. This energy is channeled directly into producing larger, more numerous tubers underground. You will literally be growing bigger potatoes. Secondly, because you're using an all-natural method, you'll have peace of mind, knowing that the food you're growing for your family is free from synthetic chemical residues. The flavour and quality of organically grown potatoes are often far superior. Finally, the soil-building aspects of this method mean that your potatoes are growing in a healthier, nutrient-rich environment, which further contributes to their size and vitality. You can expect not just a beetle-free patch, but a truly record-breaking yield. This isn't about just saving your crop, it's about helping it thrive beyond your expectations. Prepare to be amazed by the sheer quantity and quality of the potatoes you pull from the ground at the end of the season. An incredible side benefit of creating such a hostile environment for the Colorado potato beetle is that you will also deter a host of other common garden pests. The synergistic defense system you've built isn't just specific to one insect. The pungent biofumigation from the mustard can repel other soil-dwelling pests and even some nematodes. The scent-masking properties of the marigolds are known to confuse aphids, whiteflies and hornworms, making your entire garden a less attractive target. And the physical barrier of crushed eggshells, as we've noted, is a classic deterrent for slugs and snails, which can be a plague on many young seedlings, not just potatoes. So, while your primary goal might be protecting your potato crop, you're actually creating a positive ripple effect throughout your entire vegetable patch. You are building a more resilient and balanced ecosystem where pest populations are naturally kept in check. This is a far more intelligent approach than targeting a single pest with a single chemical, which often leads to unintended consequences and secondary pest outbreaks. Your garden will be healthier and more vibrant overall. Now, you might be wondering if this method can be adapted for those who don't have large in-ground gardens. What about container gardeners or those using raised beds? The answer is a resounding yes. In fact, the method is even more effective in a contained environment. The principles are exactly the same. When you are filling your container or raised bed, you'll apply the 3 Guardians mix in the same way. Add a layer to the bottom of your planting hole, place your seed potato, and then add the protective halo around it before covering it with soil. Because the soil volume is limited, the protective compounds released by the mustard and marigold will be more concentrated, creating an even more potent defense. This is a perfect solution for urban gardeners or anyone with limited space who wants to grow delicious, pest-free potatoes. It ensures that no matter the size of your garden, you can leverage the power of nature to achieve an amazing chemical-free harvest. Everyone deserves to experience the joy of growing their own food, and this method makes it easier and more successful than ever before. So there you have it. The secret is out. It's not some expensive, complicated product. It's a simple, elegant and powerful trio of natural guardians. Mustard seed for its biofumigant power, dried marigold petals for their scent-masking confusion, and crushed eggshells for their impenetrable physical barrier. By combining these 3 ingredients and burying them with your potatoes, using the protective halo technique, you create a synergistic defense system that makes your potato patch a fortress against the Colorado potato beetle. This is the aha moment, realizing you can achieve better results than harsh chemicals by simply understanding and working with nature. You are not just repelling pests, you are building healthier soil, growing stronger plants, and producing a harvest that is bigger, tastier, and safer for you and your family. Thank you so much for watching. We hope this information empowers you to take back your garden. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell for more game-changing gardening secrets. We'd love to build a community of smart gardeners right here. And now, for our question of the day. What is the single most persistent and frustrating pest you deal with in your garden? Let us know in the comments below. Your answer might just inspire our next video.